give us your general thoughts on your first career win as the head coach of BYU.
Well, I'm soaking wet right now because the guys doused me with water, so I'm a little cold. So that's my first stop. But just fun to get the first one under the belt. Honestly, it felt like this day was never going to get here with how much lead up there was to the season for me. So just fun. You know, nerves were definitely churning, I think, for me and for the guys. But you know, I was happy with the way that we played. Obviously, got off to a bit of a slow start, but maybe that was to be expected. But all in all, happy with what we saw out there.
All right, we'll open it for questions.
Coach, what kind of changed for you after that slow start through those first 10 minutes to where you really opened it up at halftime?
I mean, it was just a lot of defensive lapses to start the game. You know, our switching was poor. They got way too many easy baskets. Attribute that to whatever you want, but that's why. And then I thought we settled in on kind of the third round of subs. I actually thought Mihailo came in and kind of steadied the ship a little bit. You know, he's experienced and he's a calming presence out there. And then we just kind of started to execute more of the defensive scheme.
Last week you said you weren't sure if your defense was bad or Jaeger was that good. Do you want to kind of think about that again?
Yeah, I mean he's unique. You know, I think tonight we saw him being more aggressive. You know, as a scorer. You know, him and I had a good conversation yesterday after practice about just him making the right play, right? And so the other night in the exhibition game, him making the right play was not shooting and passing the way they were defending our team. And so tonight he found, he saw some opportunities. They were going under on some of the screens. He made them pay. And then, his feel as a passer is so unique, especially with his size. We've talked about that a lot. But, I think the interesting thing with him is he can do a lot based on how the defense is playing us. So that's something that we'll just have to, see how they're playing us, and he'll adjust accordingly.
How close did your guys execute what you had on the scout coming into this matchup?
Pretty good. I think there was a first half, especially as I mentioned to start the game, we were poor there. But for the most part, was happy there. Definitely some stuff we can clean up. With our coverages, I thought got busted a couple of times, but all in all, there was a lot to like.
44 3-point attempts. Is that higher than what you're expecting, or do you feel like this team's got the green light to put up those type of numbers?
I mean, definitely have the green light. I mean, I think what goes with that is the 20 offensive rebounds. This game at its core breaks down to a math equation. We got, I think, 18 more shots than they did, right? And so I think when you do shoot a lot of threes, you give yourself a chance to rebound a lot of those misses. Is it going to be 44 every night? Maybe not, but I do want it to be a high volume thing we've talked about with our guys, and I was happy with, I'd say 90% of those threes I thought were good shots.
When you talk about second chance opportunities, have you ever seen a guy get a slam dunk put back off a missed free throw like Kaba did in the first half?
I think we'll see a lot of unique things with him this year. Everybody in this room will see a lot of unique things with him. But yeah, he's just as gifted as an athlete as I've ever coached.
What do you think of Richie Saunders' performance tonight, 16 and 8?
I love the guy. I mean, he does everything you ask. His motor's incredible. I thought he actually got us going a little bit offensively with some of his drives to the basket and just his paint attacks. He's been really, really good for us in training camp early on, and I was happy to see, his efficiency out there. He could have scored even more. I kind of sat him for a good chunk there to end the game because the other group was rolling, but he's a stud.
Was there anything about your team tonight that you kind of learned that maybe surprised you or you hadn't really noticed through training camp?
I think you learn a lot when you go back and watch the film, but just off the naked eye, I thought, I mentioned it before, I thought Mihailo was a real steadying force for us. He can play multiple positions. He just really knows how to play. I think he gives us a little bit of toughness as well on the defensive end. So I think that was something that we kind of thought we knew a little bit about, but there's been some stuff going on in the background with him that got cleaned up that maybe now we can look at him through a different lens.
When did Mihailo officially get cleared, and when did you start to factor him in the game plan?
Yeah, I don't want to misspeak, but it wasn't that long ago. It was I if I knew, I would tell you. I can't honestly remember, but it was pretty just several days ago. So, you know, that kind of changed, like I said, how we viewed him. But you know, we would not have brought him here if we didn't think he was going to play, and it was just more honestly just going through the process.
What makes Kenny Catching such a lead defender? I know there's a lot on the offensive game, but defensively he seems like a lockdown defender as well.
I mean, he can be. You know, that's something I've shared with him, especially as it relates to his future. You know, he's a gifted scorer. If he can guard, the sky's the limit with him. You know, one thing their coach said to me when we were walking off the court just was very complimentary of just our length. You know, I don't think we're certainly not the biggest at the 5 spot, but everywhere else, I think we've got tremendous length. It's something that we've talked about. I've really been beating that drum a lot with our team, and he's just disruptive. You know, some of the plays he made with his length were incredible. I loved one of the closeouts he had. We actually showed that clip at halftime. So he's going to be a guy who's going to just get a lot better as the season goes on, and by the time we get to the end, man, I think he's going to be just a major X factor for us.
What was the thought late in the game? It's out of reach, but still had guys like Yegor in the game. Was it to try kind of different lineups, or what was maybe the thought there?
Yeah, more lineup based. Just wanted to you know, end the game well, and want to see him out there with Elijah as well.
Is Dallin getting close to being back?
Yeah, he is. I mean, we're taking an approach through the medical team that's, you know, once he's back, he's back. You know, you never want to have the, you know, in one day out the next, and so that's kind of the approach there.
3 more questions.
Does this feel a little bit more like, as you move forward to the Friday game, a little more like the NBA for you, where you have a game, you get a little bit of time to prepare, and another game comes in?
If this was the NBA, we'd be on a flight right now going somewhere. But yeah, man, I'm just excited to play as many games we can, honestly. Like, that, to me, that's the joy. You just get lost in the moment as soon as that ball goes up. So I don't mind the short turnarounds. You know, our coaching staff is really locked in with the game plans and so forth, so we'll be ready to go come Friday night. But by the way, against a good team.
2 more questions.
What were you most happy with in the win?
I think just winning. You know, just honestly, just getting the first one under our belt. I mean, statistically, there's a lot of things to like. You know, the 20 offensive rebounds. We talked about offensive rebounding a lot. You know, as you mentioned, the volume of threes. I liked that. You know, that you look at the 21 assists. I mean, I hope there's in doubt there'll be another game where Dawson goes 0-7. So I thought we could have had even more assists. He got a boatload of good looks, but just to see our identity kind of take shape in the first night, I thought was something that the guys should be proud of.
Last question.
It seems like that second unit did come in and gave you guys a spark. You mentioned Mihailo, but I mean a couple of the guys. Just how deep do you think this team goes? How comfortable, I guess, are you with the guys? And are you more of like a line change type of coach, or do you want to kind of mix and match them to a certain number?
Yeah, more mix and match. I think staggering is the way to go. Now, that being said, I think when we're whole, I think we're going to bring 3 guys in off the bench that could be starters, honestly. So the staggering may not be as important, but I am a fan of staggering. Always have been, especially coming. That was something we did a lot in the NBA. But as far as number of guys we want to play, you know, that's an ongoing debate. You know, we talk about it a lot. I think probably early on here in the season, we'll probably look at more guys just to get a feel. But that'll be something that, you know, for me, adjusting from a 48-minute game to a 40-minute game, I'll just learn a lot over the next couple months.
Okay.
All right.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys.